praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors being to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel, broad lifting up the stern of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. This is the Aki of Mahalaya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Going into these seditions, these riots, about the verdict of Breonna Taylor, which was a so-called black woman that was allegedly shot by law enforcement investigating a drug sting. Several stories to this particular, or different stories to this particular account. Officers say that the boyfriend fired at them first because he suspected an intruder, which, by all means, you have the right to arm yourself and you have a right to protect yourself if anybody is entering your proverbial place of dwelling. You have a right to very well do so. All right. But of course, being an Israelite in this society, or a so-called black or Hispanic or Native American man, you really don't have rights to really defend yourself. And the only right you really have is to really just sit down and shut your damn mouth and accept the abuse from these other nations. But we're coming in a time now that the Most High is stirring up the pot. Like you see on the screen here, these are all the different protesters from Louisville, Kentucky. Also, you had them out there in Michigan, but Louisville. You had Washington. Here in Kansas City, you had several arrests out here last night, and etc. Because Jake is getting roused up, but at the same time, we know that this is all propaganda. All right, we know that the whole BLM is funded by Soros, which is led by three Negro women that's undesirable. And another thing is basically a ritual, a seance, so to speak, because when you're chanting BLM, or you say our name, Breonna Taylor, if you keep incanting that, you're provoking spells and spirits. Like one lady broke it down. She said during a protest, I think this is one of the head of the Black Lives Matter, she said the spirits be with her. She says that once they continue to speak on the name, or they continue to invoke these particular deities that's dead, that can feel the spirits with them, which shows you that it's a lot of power behind one's name. And this is why we push the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, because that name has a vibration too. All right, but this is nothing more but propaganda. But nonetheless, this is the Lord. He's using this for prophecy, because while this is going on, they're going to try to say, well, this is the cause and raise for COVID numbers. We need to deploy the military to get these Negroes to tame them, which 90% of the Black Lives protesters are so-called white people, Edomites. All right, so this is it's all folly at the end of the day. But nonetheless, these riots are going to start getting deadly, because at the same time, while you got mass riots, while you got COVID numbers rising, you got World War III that's being manufactured. And these people, they don't have a freaking clue as to what's getting ready to happen in this world, because they're so focused on BLM, which a lot of these are paid agents. Okay, they're what they call professional agitators, which is an agent provocateur. They're professional agents. They're paid off to go to these cities and incite riots. And what proves that is because how all these cities rise up simultaneously. Because even yesterday morning, they was talking about setting up a state of emergency out there in Louisville based on the verdict of Breonna Taylor. And they haven't even come up with the verdict yet, at least not publicly. So they already knew that these officers that was charged in the shooting and the death of Breonna Taylor, they already knew that they was going to get off, because none of them was charged on state charges for this. They pretty much walked. And I believe one officer was charged with reckless firing or something like that went into another apartment, but they didn't charge him for killing his woman. But instead, I believe the boyfriend that shot the officer, I believe he's getting reprimanded on charges, if I'm not mistaken. But that show you, man, that it ain't gonna be no justice for you Negroes in this society. And we proved that. Like, I was listening to the stream yesterday. This one fucking black woman gonna say, well, we just want equal justice. We want justice. That's all we want. We just want a fair shake. What the hell wrong with you, Jakes? Why in the hell are you steady begging this oppressor, this demon, this devil? Why you steady begging him to be accepted? He don't like you. All right? This fucking devil hates you, and they're proving it. The fact that an officer could gun down a woman of color in cold blood and nothing happens to him, what the fuck make you niggas think that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, really gives a shit about your crime? You will never be accepted. And the Most High is going to keep jacking you niggas up until you realize that you got to come back to your power. But Unfortunately for the rest of you clowns, you got to get the sword. Because that's the only how the Most High is going to plead with you, by putting you to death. Because if it was up to you, you would never come back into the Most High. You would never say, okay, we're not being accepted by these other heathens, these other nations. Let me pray and repent in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and be healed so the Lord can destroy this goddamn place. Instead, you niggas want to go knock at Master's door and ask him, why are you doing this to us? What you mean why he's doing it to us? Because he's set up to do it to you. He hates you. He's the devil. What is it going to take for you dumb Negroes to get that through your damn minds, man? The so-called white man, which is Esau Edom, don't give a flying F-U-C-K about you tribes. All right? They proved that with Michael Brown. They proved that with Tamir Rice. They proved that with Oscar Grant. They proved that with freaking George Floyd. All right? And they're proving it with her and many more Jakes. And many more you, the Most High is going to raise up Esau to gun you down in cold blood. Because the Lord is sick of dealing with your bullshit, man. All right? So anyway, look at these riots and protests. This is all sedition among men, even though it's propaganda, you know, because I believe a cop was shot. 2 cops out there was shot out there in Washington, if I'm not mistaken. It was an article that popped up on my feed here, but unfortunately they took it down. You know, that Flipboard stuff, they changed news articles like they're changing shirts in the morning. But nonetheless, man, even though this is all propagation to rile you Jakes up, you got paid provocateurs out there, but you got regular Jakes out there too that don't know what the hell they out there for. They're just out there to cause mischief and chaos and turmoil, man. Which is gonna work against a lot of you, man. All right, but I'm gonna play this a little bit because this is damn 11 hours long. Which I'm not gonna play the whole 11 hours. That's stupidity. But I'm gonna play about 5 minutes of this, and I'm gonna get a couple of precepts too. That way, you know, brothers can know what's going on. But anyway, here we go.
It's not a lie. I clearly know more than you. That's okay. No, it was not the wrong address, but the information that they gave to get the address was false. There was no surveillance cameras. What's going on? You can follow this lovely woman right here. Her name is Tara Bassett, Tara-Bassett. Directly to my right here is Matthew Ballard, H-E-W, B-A-L-L-A-R-W. Maxwell Mitchell's also down there.
See that? See that chanting? That's sorcery. That's a witchcraft. That's a ritual. You see what they're doing? They're on platoon with it. Okay? They're on mark with it. That's a ritual. On the left-hand side, they're invoking these spirits and they're causing these people to rouse up. Even though the Black Lives Matter or the funded or the protesters, they got these particular leaders over every faction in every state. What they do is they say, well, look, we're going to give this verdict or whatever it may be, and they send ahead. All right, they give them an email, they send them a message, or they may message them by phone, automated response, however they do it. They say, well, look, and they're going to disperse it out to all the leaders of these particular organizations in every city. What they say is, look, this is going to be the deal. Get your people, all right, and we're going to bust them in, or you get your people to go out there and start messing things up. And they do that across the whole country, across all 50 states. And this is why these riots, they basically kick off like wildfires. Before you know it, 1 minute it's quiet, and all of a sudden 15 minutes later every city is ignited with protesters. Or it's like within a fucking hour they out there. Why? Because they getting notification from these George Soros officials that tell them to go out there and do these things. That's why they able to disperse and to come together so quick. All right, it's not a coincidence. But nonetheless, this is nothing more but an enchantment. This is witchcraft and it's sorcery. That's why they keep saying these particular names. If you pay attention to it, it's putting them in a trance. You know? Like that madness that you hear in the background. You know? This place is wicked as all hell. Hold up real quick.
You said W.
And Jake's so freaking stupid. The leaders of this organization know that it's not changed from this. This is just to rile you dumb idiots up, all right, to get you some type of false sense of hope, to be justified on rolling on you later on, man. They know that this ain't gonna work. You think that chant, what the hell March are gonna do? You see what happened in the Roddy King verdict. I mean, even though they tore the damn city up, at the end of the day, it still succumbed to nothing. You tribes, man, you got a lot, you got hell to pay. All right? Matter of fact, I'm going to fast forward to when they start really messing things up.
Can you guys hear me?
You're a simple nigga, man. And the crazy part about it is you got Edomites out here.
Because when we talk about reform, see, the message about, defunding the police, people act like they don't understand that, but y'all understand when you say defund Planned Parenthood. You understood that, right? You understood that, didn't you? You got that message loud and clear. You understood that? So when you talk about these unborn lives and you talk about how much they matter, how come our lives don't matter? How come we don't matter?
Your lives don't matter because, nigga, you are in your captivity. The Most High is doing this to you. And that's the problem when you got women leading organizations like this. That's when you have a bunch of confusion, because ain't no way in fucking hell that a woman's supposed to be leading this. Which proves that Black Lives Matter was never for the Israelite man. And proves that this is a setup. It's set up and it's orchestrated, because let's just say when riots really do break out, when it's uncontrollable, you think these women gonna be out here having a voice? Hell no, these women gonna run and hide and try to come up under men. So this is freaking folly. But nonetheless, this is set up to rise up Jake. All right, so this is the book of Genesis 49 and 8. It says, Judah, thou art whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand should be in the neck of thy enemies, and thy father's children shall bow down to thee. Right, that's right, because eventually the Most High is going to cause Jake to do something that's going to happen that's going to rise you Jakes up, man. All right, and it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up, and he stooped down, and he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? All right, and all these cop shootings and stuff like that, yeah, to get Jake a little pissed off. But at the end of the day, these Jakes ain't really roused up, because like I said, this is paid for. This is propaganda. Like news report came out that they burned down a courthouse. Come on, man. Really? Come on, man. And you notice the cops just sitting back watching it. Why? Because they setting you up. But this is none other than sedition of men. All right? And when they start with these forced inoculations, then you're going to see the heat turn up out here. Then all this BLM crap, all this BS that you believe in is going to be up to no avail. All right?
When the racist ass white supremacists talk about all lives matter, are they talking about the kids in the cages too?
Fucking fooling,
Are they?
man.
Are they talking about all lives matter when we were slaves? When you talking about it, then did our life matter then? Did it? Did it? These officers know how to peacefully arrest when it's theirs. They know how. They know how to peacefully arrest the white man who goes up into the school and kills the kids.
But you see what I'm saying? But then again, people look at her like, oh my God, this is a heroic sister, man. You gotta have the eyesight to see through this garbage. All right, you gotta be able to see through what they're doing here. Like I said, if this wasn't set up and orchestrated, this woman would not be out here this bold, all right, because our life would be in danger. Okay, they'll put two between our eyeballs quick. Because when Jacob's trouble fully kicks off, you ain't gonna have no women out here with no voice. Not for real. Definitely not no women of the 2/3 talking all this bullshit, man. Talking about, look, man, this is all leading to bigger issues down the line. All right, you ain't gonna get no justice. The Lord ain't gonna give you no justice, and justice ain't meant for you on this side. All right, you were brought to America to catch hell. The scriptures tell you that. The scriptures tell you that the Lord doth bring his judgments to pass every day. Okay, whether it be good or bad, the Lord is the one that's judging you. All right, so this is the book of Isaiah 19:1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and he should come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst of it. That's right, because these people are going to really be put down. When the Lord comes back with his fiery judgment, these people, all this nonsense you see is going to be put to nothing. It's going to be brought to naught. And it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And this is what you're witnessing. You Americans, you peons. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Okay, going into the world wars, the class wars, the race wars, you know. All these particular events that's happening on the planet Earth is going to lead to bigger riots and clashes and eventually world war. All right, going on, and it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fell in the midst, and I would destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. All right, and this whole protest is nothing more but a charmer. All right, it's idolatry, it's familiar spirits, it's witchcraft, man. All right, and the fact that you got women running the organization proves that it's not really about shit. You know, because come on, man. When bullets start flying, they're gonna be the first ones running for their lives, man. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this and grab a couple more precepts because this is folly.
They know how. They know how to arrest the white man that goes up in the church and kills all the churchgoers in there. They know how to peacefully arrest them. They know how to do that without any kind of harm done to that person whatsoever. But it's something about us, black people, that causes them to do this. This is what.
Whoa, motherfucker, let's get the scripture. You want to know what caused them to do that? This is what caused them to do that. Let's get this in the book of Genesis 27. And if you stupid Negroes really believed in the Bible the way you claim you do, you wouldn't be questioning why he's doing what he's doing. All right. So this is the book of Genesis 27, and I'm gonna start at verses 41. It says, "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob." So this hatred goes back into the garden, man. It goes back into Jacob and Esau. This is a ongoing hatred that they've had for us since the womb. And it says, "In the words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau is touching thee, doth comfort himself purposely to kill thee." So what do you mean when it comes to you? Of course, when it comes to you, they hate you. Righteously so, just like you're supposed to hate them. All right? You Jake's gonna wake up and smell the beans, man.
What they do? This is what they do. They're protecting this building. And for what? For what? This is what they do. This is the treatment that we get. We get helicopters. We get riot gear. This is what we're met with right here because they call us domestic terrorists. But I want to know what they call the white supremacists when they come out plowing us down in your vehicles. What do they call them? What do they call them? What do they call them?
And you had a simple ass Jake in the back. They causing this. But then again, you know what? The scriptures go into basically these fair speeches, how that would be up to nothing because you saying all this shit, facts, but nonetheless, it ain't gonna change a damn thing. It ain't gonna change the way they look at you. It's not gonna change the way they treat you, not the way that they think about it. It's not gonna do a damn thing. If anything, it's just gonna turn up. All right? They don't care about you tribes, man. And you're gonna realize that when they start really gunning you down mercilessly. All right, because all these people in this crowd, and none of them is of the elect, the Most High is going to take each and every last one of them out. And the crazy part about it is that you got Edomites in your crowd with you. Like the scriptures say, those that join hand in hand, the wicked should not go unpunished. So you going off, man. All right, but anyway, this is the book of Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verses 16. It says, "And in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt, and everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it." So once you tribes come back to some realization that this man is against you on every side, then that's when you're going to really go batshit crazy. That's when it ain't gonna be no more marching and protesting. Instead, it's gonna be the real deal. You know, the real deal. None of that, oh well, we want equal rights. No, because you ain't gonna get equal rights here. Alright? So this is the book of 2 Esdras 9:1. It says, "And he answered me and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, then thou shalt understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit a world which he made." All right, so this is the time that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the Spirit of the Lord, is resting upon the earth to do this mischief. All right, it says here, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," okay, this is nothing more but an uproar. Okay, people was getting shot out here.
What do you call them? When they hurt our children, what do you call them? When they sex traffic our children, what do you call them? What do you call them? Because white supremacy is of a protected class. They are a protected class. And what they're doing to us is an atrocity. We have to understand that we're continuing to be oppressed. This right here is oppression. This is oppression. Why are they getting paid to stand here and riot gear? There's no riot. There's no riot. There's no riot. When we talk about these matters, you gotta understand this is real. We're not making this up. This is real. This is real. When we were out here on Saturday, there was a truck rally up here. How come the helicopter weren't over here?
But you know what though? These leaders of this movement is leading Jake down a cliff, like the scripture said, they leaders that cause, not the leaders, but it says the gates thereof languish, they are blackened to the ground. Now my thing is this: these devils are waiting to pounce on you, man. They got the stamp down now, but when sooner or later they gonna pounce on y'all for this shit. And on top of that, why is she wearing black? This shows you that this is some type of witchcraft. All right, because the women of this movement, the three leaders, they're of the Boule. That's basically the Black Masons. All right, that's witchcraft, that's sorcery. You got to get initiated and you got to swear on the oath. And what are the chances that she's wearing black? But you got a bunch of grimy, silly Negroes in there that believe that this woman is a damn hero when she's really leading you to your demise, man. All right, and it says here, then thou shalt very well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. It says, for as like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders, and powerful works, endings, and effects and signs. All right, and this is none other than that. This is part of the proverbial signs that the Most High said that was going to lead to the second coming, well, Yahweh Shah's second coming. All right, so anyway, I got one more precept here. The point is being made, but this is folly, you know. But hey, nonetheless, hey, hey, I love to see it, because hey, this is a step closer on the Lord getting us the hell up out of this wicked ass kingdom. All right, so this is the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, and this is none other than that, because like I said, you had a couple of cops that got shot out there. All right, so now it's like it's turning up. These protesters are getting violent. And it says, for there should be sedition among men, invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And a man should desire to go in the city, and should not be able, but for because of their pride the city should be troubled, and the houses destroyed, and men afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. So right now we're at this point, but it's still being controlled. It's still some form of society intact. But once this thing gets out of control, that's when the real fun and games will begin. All right. And with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and the Baba Ball. Lord's will you are edified. Shalom.
Officers went over here because the helicopter followed us the whole march. The whole march, the helicopter followed us. The whole march, we had police following us. Why weren't they over here for the Trump rally? Why? Because they're a protected class. That's why. That's why. This is even more reason. This is more reason why we have to fight the way we do. This is more reason. Because racism trickles down from the top. It trickles down, and it's in these departments, and that's what you see right here. This is not protection. What are they protecting? What are they protecting? Because just like with the verdict and Breonna Taylor, that wall got justice. That wall got justice. What are they protecting? Because they're not protecting us.